Hi, my name is Richard Dewey, and this is the Moon Realm. Today I'm going to talk about streamlining workflow in order to maximize your illustrator's time. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This sketch of Mr. Fix-It was an immediate slam dunk, but my illustration contract called for Carolyn to make 3 distinct sketch ideas before we moved forward. What to do? Well, after conferring with Carolyn, we decided to nix the other 2 sketches. This may seem like an obvious thing to do, but when you've got a workflow that's producing great results, it's very easy to get in a groove. Just remember to always confer with your illustrator before you go off book. Here's the final illustration. Before we go to the next sketch, I want to show you how the description you write can influence an illustrator's choices. To do this, I'm going to read the opening paragraphs of Chapter 3, Mr. Fix-It. Here we go. Uncle Eb's workshop, which occupied the entire 3rd floor, was a giant windowless room filled with aisles of parts, cannibalized and half-finished inventions, and junk. Lots and lots of junk. The staircase emptied right into the middle of it. The walls gave off a dark blue light, as though these reefs were under the sea. The electromals that lived here were also different, large-mouthed, bulbous-eyed, with long dangling spines. They moved slowly, gliding along the walls like miniature deep-sea dirigibles. Mr. Fix-It sat directly in front of the landing. He consisted of 2 arms mounted on the sides of what looked like a tall dresser with exactly 99 drawers. A sizable work table was attached to the front of the dresser, and Mr. Fix-It could raise and lower it to reach all his drawers. The work table was ringed by all manner of tools that Mr. Fix-It could easily grasp and use. At one time or another, Lily had looked through most of the drawers, which held nuts and bolts, wire, solder, batteries, screwdrivers, wrenches, and many other items for which she had no name. On the corner of the work table was an old, beaten-up keyboard with a tiny black and white video screen. By default, Mr. Fix-It kept his table in a lowered position so that a person standing in front of him could easily use the keyboard and read the tiny screen. The next 4 sketches I'm going to show you were all slam dunks. The larger creature here is a Wurtle. The little guy riding it is a Whiffling. This is a Wren by the name of Roan. He's about the size of a draft horse. Here we have Greydor and Nimlin, king and queen of the Wren. This last one is the Tomb of the Fallen. I love the little bit of paw at the foot of the door on the right. It really pops when you go to color. See what I mean? Okay, so now I've got one more to show you, but this one has a little story that goes along with it. When I started this project, I had no idea for a cover. So rather than risk a loss of time, I suggested we get started with the chapter illustrations and see if inspiration might strike somewhere down the road. Pretty risky, I know, but Carolyn was game. Inspiration struck here, on a sketch that was intended for Chapter 11. This idea led directly to this, which became the cover art for the original ebook. We were so excited that we promptly forgot that we'd swiped our chapter art. By the time we figured it out, we were very close to our drop deadline. It had all the makings of a disaster. But then Carolyn said she had an idea. When I asked her what it was, she said she thought I would really like it, and that she wanted to take it straight to final form, no sketch. A couple of days later, she sent me this. By all that is round. It still takes my breath away every time I see it. Well, that's it for this video. Until next time, happy reading.